Hi there. It's day 295 of our Through the Bible in a Year. Today we are reading Matthew 18. Just Matthew 18. Many of these stories we've heard already in the other three Gospels. All right? It's kind of interesting hearing them all at the same time. Okay, let's begin. At that time the disciples came to Jesus and said, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Now the other ones said that they were talking about it, and Jesus knew their thoughts and came and confronted them about it. But then he called the child to him and had him stand among them. "I assure you," he said, "unless you are converted or turned around and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child, this one is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever welcomes one child like this in my name welcomes me." All right, here comes the good part. "But whoever causes the downfall of one of these little ones who believe in me, it would be better for him if a heavy millstone," there's a note here, millstone turned by a donkey, "were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depths of the sea." And you see a lot of pictures of people going, "Oh, look," of the millstone around the neck of the guy being drowned. He's not saying that's what would happen to him. He said it would be better if that happened to them. What will happen to them is much, much worse. Okay? "Woe to the world because of offenses, for offenses must come, but woe to the man by whom the offense comes. If your hand or your foot causes you to your downfall, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life maimed or lame than to have 2 hands and 2 feet and be thrown into the eternal fire. And if your eye causes your downfall, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better to enter life with 1 eye rather than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into hellfire." That the parable of the lost sheep. I don't know if you've read this one yet or not. "See that you don't look down on one of these little ones, because I tell you that in heaven their angels continually view the face of my Father in heaven, for the Son of Man has come to save the lost. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, won't he leave the 99 on the hillside and go search for the stray? And if he finds it, I assure you, he rejoices over that sheep more than over the 99 that did not go astray. In the same way, it is not the will of your Father in heaven that one of these little ones perish." It's talking about children there. Restoring a brother. "If your brother sins against you, go and rebuke him in private. If he listens to you, you have won your brother. But if he won't listen, take 1 or 2 more with you, so that by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses every fact may be established." And notes all over this one, huh? Yeah. "If he pays no attention, then tell the church. But if he doesn't pay attention to even the church, let him be like an unbeliever and a tax collector to you. I assure you, whatever you bind on earth is already bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth is already loosed in heaven. Again, I assure you, if two of you on earth agree about any matter that you pray for it, it will be done for you." Get that? "By my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them." That's a famous verse, right? The parable of the unforgiving slave. Remember this one too. This will be a short day. Nice. "Then Peter came to him and said, 'Lord, how many times could my brother sin against me and I forgive him? As many as 7 times?' 'I tell you, not as many as 7, Jesus said to him, "but 70 times 7. There's a note here. But 77 times. He was being, I'll think of the word. "For this reason the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who wanted to settle accounts with his slaves. When he began to settle accounts, one who owed 10,000 talents was brought before him. Since he had no way to pay it back, his master commanded that he, his wife, and his children, and everything he had be sold to pay the debt." Wow. At this, the slave fell face down before him and said, "Be patient with me, and I will repay you everything." Then the master of that slave had compassion, released him, and forgave him the loan, 10,000 talents. But that slave went out and found one of his fellow slaves who owed him 100 denarii. He grabbed him, started choking him, and saying, "Pay what you owe." At this, his fellow slave fell down and began begging him, "Be patient with me, and I will pay you back." But he wasn't willing. On the contrary, he went and threw him into prison until he could pay back what was owed. When the other slaves saw what had taken place, they were deeply distressed, and went and reported to their master everything that had happened. Oh. Then, after he had summoned him, his master said to him, "You wicked slave, I forgave you all that debt because you begged me. Shouldn't you also have mercy on your fellow slave as I had mercy on you?" And his master got angry and handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he could pay everything that was owed. So my heavenly Father will also do to you if each of you does not forgive his brother from his heart. Wow. Those are tough words, right? So there you go. That was day 295. That was short, wasn't it? We'll mark that as complete and look ahead to tomorrow. John 7 and 8, 2 chapters in John. And believe Jesus at the Festival of Tabernacles, identity of the Messiah, promise of the Spirit. I like to read the titles. Light of the world, yeah. So, there you have it. That's day 295. That was easy. A nice short study for a Monday. So, but we'll keep going. Keep going until we're finished. It's the very end of the year. Okay? Give us a like if you think about it. But until tomorrow, we'll continue. See you then.